What if I told you that in 2026 you can build a complete web app in under 1 hour using AI, even if you are not an expert coder? No long setup, no endless debugging, and no wasting hours searching for solutions. Just AI doing most of the heavy work for you while you focus on ideas instead of syntax. Today, I tested 5 of the most popular AI coding tools to see which one can actually build a real web application the fastest and which ones are mostly hype. Some tools promise the world but fall apart the moment real code is involved. One of these tools completely shocked me, and 2 of them honestly disappointed me. Make sure you stay till the end because I will explain exactly which AI tool you should use depending on your experience level and goals. Here is the challenge. I am building a real, working todo list web app from scratch. This is not a mock-up or a fake demo. The app includes a React frontend, a Node.js backend, and basic features like adding tasks, editing them, deleting them, and viewing them in real time. Every AI tool gets the exact same task. I am judging them on speed, code quality, ease of use, and how much help they actually provide during development. This matters because AI coding tools are everywhere right now. New tools launch almost every week, and everyone claims their AI can write perfect code. But in reality, not all of them save time. Some tools actually slow you down by creating bugs or confusing structures. In 2026, knowing which AI tool to trust is just as important as knowing how to code. The first tool I tested was Cursor. Cursor is a modern code editor with AI deeply integrated into the workflow. Instead of switching between tabs or copying code from chat windows, everything happens directly inside the editor. I typed a simple prompt asking Cursor to build a React Todo app with a Node.js backend and basic CRUD functionality. Almost instantly, Cursor began generating code. First, it created the React components, then the backend server, and finally the API connections between them. What stood out immediately was how natural the experience felt. Cursor understands the project structure and anticipates what you want to do next. It feels less like using a tool and more like working with a very skilled coding partner. There were a few small issues. One package was missing, and one API route needed a minor adjustment. But these fixes took less than a minute. In total, it took about 12 minutes to get a fully working app. Cursor is extremely fast, very smooth, and ideal for real-world development. The only downside is that some of its most powerful features require a paid subscription. Overall, Cursor earns a strong 8 out of 10. Next, I tested ChatGPT 5. I gave it nearly the same prompt but asked it to keep the code clean, simple, and optimized for performance. ChatGPT responded almost immediately with a full breakdown of the front-end and back-end code, along with explanations for how everything works. For beginners, this level of explanation is very helpful. The React frontend looked clean and well structured. Components were organized properly, and the logic was easy to follow. However, when I tested the backend, I noticed a couple of problems. One middleware did not actually exist, and one API route did not match the front-end calls. These are common issues with AI-generated code and show why you should never blindly copy and paste. After making small corrections, the app worked as expected. Including debugging time, the total was about 9 minutes. ChatGPT 5 is fast, easy to use, and great for learning, but it sometimes makes confident mistakes. Because of that, I would rate it 7 out of 10. Then I moved on to Claude 3.5. Claude has a reputation for strong reasoning and logical thinking, so I gave it a more detailed and structured prompt. The response took slightly longer, but the result was impressive. The code was clean, simple, and very well organized. Everything made sense, and there were almost no errors. I barely had to touch the code after Claude finished. The app worked almost immediately. The total time to completion was around 11 minutes. Claude is excellent if you care about maintainable and readable code, especially for larger projects. The only drawback is that it is slightly slower than some competitors. Still, it easily earns a 9 out of 10. After that, I tested GitHub Copilot X. This tool works differently from the others. It does not build an entire app from a single prompt. Instead, it assists you while you code inside VS Code. As I typed, Copilot suggested full functions, completed repetitive logic, and filled in boilerplate code. For experienced developers, this is incredibly powerful. It feels like having an assistant that knows your style and helps you move faster. But for beginners, it can be overwhelming. Copilot assumes you already understand project setup, architecture, and best practices. It took about 15 minutes to complete the app using Copilot X. It is very useful for professionals but not ideal for beginners, so I would give it 6 out of 10. Finally, I tested Grok from XAI, and this tool surprised me the most. I used the same prompt as the other tools and waited for the result. Grok generated the code extremely fast. But what really stood out was how it handled errors. When something did not work, Grok identified the problem and corrected it without confusion or endless back and forth. The frontend and backend connected smoothly, and the app worked with almost no changes. The total time to a working app was about 8 minutes, making Grok the fastest tool in this test. It is fast, accurate, and surprisingly reliable. The only downside is that its ecosystem is still smaller compared to more established tools. Still, Grok earns an impressive 9.5 out of 10. After testing all 5 tools, here is the final comparison. For pure speed, Grok is the clear winner. For clean and logical code, Claude 3.5 stands out. For the best coding experience inside an editor, Cursor performs extremely well. For learning and understanding code, ChatGPT 5 is very helpful. And for experienced developers working daily in VS Code, GitHub Copilot X remains a strong option. The overall winner of this challenge is Grok 4. But the smartest strategy is not to rely on just one tool. You can use Cursor to explore ideas and structure your project, Grok to build fast, and Claude to handle complex logic. This combination can easily save you several hours every week. AI is changing coding faster than ever before. The real question is not whether AI will replace developers. The real question is which developers will learn how to use AI effectively. If you understand how to work with these tools, you will build faster, smarter, and with less stress. If this video helped you understand AI coding tools better, make sure to like the video, subscribe for more AI and coding content, and share this with someone who wants to code faster in 2026.